I think we've been fairly convinced that the TB1 area is roughly the site of the original money pit. There's a lot of evidence that there is still something here. We're zeroing in on possibly finding the treasure.
For more than 220 years, Oak Island has guarded a mystery that has defeated the world's greatest treasure hunters, archaeologists, engineers, and scientists. Thousands of boreholes have been drilled, millions of dollars have been spent, countless expeditions have come and gone, yet the island has never surrendered the one secret people have been searching for across generations. But now, everything may have changed. After months of deep drilling, high-resolution ground scanning, 3D geological mapping, and continuous core sampling, Rick Lagina's team uncovered evidence of what appears to be an ancient hatch buried deep beneath the island. If the discovery is genuine, it could lead to something capable of rewriting the entire story of Oak Island. Before we reveal what happened next, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss our latest deep dives into history's greatest mysteries and discoveries. Inside the war room, emergency meetings began one after another. Engineers monitored the ground for even the slightest movement, while archaeologists carefully documented every fragment of evidence. Then, as the final layers of soil surrounding the mysterious hatch were removed, unexpected signals appeared on the monitoring screens, bringing the entire excavation to a standstill. And just as Rick Lagina prepared to open what could be a 220-year-old hidden entrance, something happened that completely changed the direction of the mission. Was this the greatest treasure discovery in history, or the beginning of a mystery that would challenge everything experts thought they knew about Oak Island? Stay with us, because what you're about to see could change the way you look at this legendary island forever. For more than 2 centuries, countless excavation attempts have taken place on Oak Island. Millions of dollars have been invested, yet every breakthrough has only raised more unanswered questions. Once again, the latest expedition appeared to be following a routine investigation, but within days, the entire operation took an unexpected turn. The team began another high-resolution scan around the legendary money pit, expecting little more than ordinary geological readings. At first, the data showed nothing unusual. Then, as the digital images became clearer, one feature immediately stood out: a perfectly defined circular formation buried beneath the surface. Unlike the surrounding rock, its shape looked too regular to be explained by natural geology. Rather than relying on the scan alone, the researchers launched an extensive deep core sampling operation. Samples recovered from multiple depths revealed an unusual sequence of soil, stone, and timber layers. The arrangement appeared inconsistent with natural ground formation, suggesting that human activity may have altered the site long ago. To verify the findings, geologists compared the latest drilling results with decades of historical borehole records. Instead of solving the mystery, every new comparison seemed to deepen it. The more evidence they examined, the stronger the possibility became that something significant had been hidden beneath the island for centuries. The investigation then took another dramatic step. The team retrieved centuries-old maps created during some of Oak Island's earliest expeditions and carefully aligned them with modern 3D survey data. What they discovered stunned everyone in the war room. The newly detected circular anomaly matched almost perfectly with the location where historic records had long hinted at a mysterious underground structure. The atmosphere changed instantly. Engineers, archaeologists, and geologists gathered around the monitors, studying every detail in complete silence. What had begun as another routine survey was rapidly becoming one of the most intriguing discoveries ever made on Oak Island. The discussion continued for hours as engineers, archaeologists, and researchers carefully examined every new piece of information. Once every report had been reviewed, Rick Lagina reached an important conclusion. There would be no shortcuts on this mission. Every layer of earth would be uncovered with extreme care. Every discovery would be documented in detail, and nothing would be announced until the evidence had been scientifically verified. Even so, the anticipation on the team's faces was impossible to hide. The discovery of the mysterious circular formation completely transformed the atmosphere on Oak Island. This was no longer a routine excavation. If an ancient hatch really existed beneath the surface, a single mistake could destroy evidence that had remained untouched for more than 220 years. Rick immediately called the most critical meeting of the expedition inside the war room. Engineers, geologists, archaeologists, and survey specialists gathered around the table as ground scans, drilling records, historical maps, and core sample reports were laid out before them. From this point forward, every decision would be guided by scientific evidence rather than speculation. The first priority was rebuilding a detailed, three-dimensional geological model of the site. By combining the latest scanning data with rock density measurements and core samples, the team created a digital picture of what lay beneath the island. Engineers focused on identifying the safest path toward the suspected hatch, while geologists studied each underground layer for signs of unusual formations. Archaeologists reminded everyone that the moment any human-made structure appeared, heavy excavation equipment would have to stop immediately. Attention then shifted to the excavation strategy itself. Rick Lagina stressed that precision, not speed, would determine the success of the mission. Progress would be made slowly, with soil, rock, and timber samples collected at regular intervals. Every sample would be carefully labeled with its exact location, depth, and orientation before being entered into a digital archive for later laboratory analysis. The team believed that the smallest fragment of wood or the tiniest stone could hold the clue they had been searching for. Safety measures were strengthened more than ever before. Ground pressure sensors, water level monitoring systems, and air quality detectors would remain active around the clock. If there was any indication of structural instability, flooding, or dangerous gases, excavation would stop immediately without hesitation. After hours of planning and reviewing every possibility, Rick approved the final excavation strategy. The preparations were complete, and the team was finally ready to move toward the mysterious location. Then came the most demanding phase of the entire operation. Rick once again reminded everyone that there would be no rushing this excavation. The site would be uncovered one layer at a time, because even the smallest mistake could erase evidence that had survived underground for centuries. Heavy machinery was used only to remove the uppermost layers of soil. As the excavation reached greater depths, the pace slowed dramatically. Every 3 to 5 feet, work paused completely. Soil, rocks, timber, and every other material recovered from that section were separated, cataloged, and preserved. High-resolution photographs were taken. Laser scans recorded exact measurements, and every sample was logged into a digital database with precise depth and location details. The archaeologist repeatedly warned the team that Oak Island's greatest secret could be hidden inside a fragment no larger than a hand, so absolutely nothing was overlooked. As the excavation continued, workers uncovered massive stone blocks that looked noticeably different from the surrounding natural rock. Nearby, weathered wooden remains also began emerging from the earth. The discovery immediately caught the attention of the geologists, who advised slowing the operation even further. In their opinion, these layers no longer appeared to be entirely natural. At almost the same moment, metal detectors began producing strong and continuous signals from several points within the excavation area. The digging stopped instantly. Every member of the team turned toward the monitoring screens in complete silence. Signals this consistent had never been recorded before during the Oak Island search. With every passing minute, the tension grew stronger. No one could say with certainty what lay hidden beneath the ground. But one thing had become increasingly difficult to ignore. Something extraordinary was waiting below. The excavation had now reached the point everyone had been waiting for. After days of slow and meticulous digging, the team found themselves closer than ever to the mysterious target hidden beneath Oak Island. Then, something unexpected appeared. As another thin layer of soil was carefully removed, the outline of a large stone feature slowly emerged from the ground. Instantly, the atmosphere at the site changed. Unlike the surrounding bedrock, this formation looked remarkably different. Its shape was almost perfectly rectangular, and its edges appeared unusually straight, making it difficult to dismiss as a random natural formation. Rick Lagina stood quietly, studying the discovery without saying a word. Live footage was immediately transmitted to the experts inside the war room, where intense discussions broke out. Many believed they could finally be looking at the same hidden entrance that treasure hunters had searched for over the last 220 years. But the mystery only deepened. Metal detectors repeatedly produced strong readings around the newly exposed stone structure. As workers carefully cleared away more soil, several specialists noticed what appeared to be traces of old iron fittings or hinge-like metal embedded nearby. Even so, no one was willing to make a definitive statement before laboratory testing confirmed the findings. What everyone could agree on, however, was that this structure looked completely different from the surrounding natural rock. The discovery immediately sparked a heated debate. Some archaeologists argued that the feature could be part of an ancient man-made structure deliberately sealed beneath layers of stone. Others believed it might still be an unusual geological formation created by natural processes. Both sides presented convincing arguments, yet neither had enough evidence to settle the question. As reports of the discovery spread, attention from around the world quickly followed. Historians, researchers, and treasure hunters all focused on Oak Island, asking the same question. Had the team finally uncovered the legendary entrance hidden beneath the island? But before anyone could find the answer, another challenge stood in their way. The closer the excavation came to the mysterious structure, the greater the risks became. Rick Lagina understood that if an ancient hatch truly lay beneath the surface, the surrounding ground could be dangerously unstable. Engineers warned that even a sudden shift in pressure might trigger a collapse, destroying valuable evidence and bringing the entire mission to an abrupt end. That possibility forced the team to move more carefully than ever before. Structural instability was only one concern. Oak Island's long history is filled with excavation attempts that were halted by sudden flooding. If an old tunnel or hidden passage unexpectedly opened, water could rush into the excavation within minutes. To prepare for that possibility, advanced water monitoring systems operated continuously, while engineers closely tracked moisture levels and underground pressure throughout the site. The air beneath the excavation was monitored just as carefully. Sensitive instruments measured oxygen levels around the clock while detecting any dangerous gases that might accumulate underground. If conditions became unsafe, the team would immediately evacuate the area. At the same time, pressure sensors embedded around the excavation constantly measured how the surrounding rock responded as digging continued. Every reading was analyzed to determine whether the structure remained stable or if the danger of collapse was increasing. After reviewing all the latest data, Rick Lagina made a difficult decision. Acting on the recommendation of the safety specialists, he ordered the excavation to pause temporarily. Within moments, the site fell completely silent. No one was prepared to risk losing centuries of hidden evidence by moving too quickly. With the operation on hold, one question dominated every conversation. Should they continue or turn back? Inside the war room, meeting after meeting took place as engineers rechecked structural pressure reports. Geologists reassessed the stability of the surrounding rock, and archaeologists carefully reviewed every discovery made so far. Every opinion pointed toward the same conclusion. There could be no rushed decisions. Rick knew that if this really was a centuries-old hatch, they were standing at one of the most important moments in Oak Island's history. Following multiple rounds of scientific analysis, the team finally received approval to continue. The final report concluded that the excavation could move forward, provided every step was carried out under strict safety controls. Independent specialists reached the same conclusion. They explained that if the structure was opened slowly, and every stage was thoroughly documented, any significant evidence could be preserved without unnecessary risk. After considering every recommendation, Rick Lagina gave the order to proceed. The site was immediately equipped with high-resolution cameras, 3D laser scanners, and advanced remote monitoring technology. Every action around the mysterious structure would be recorded in precise detail. Before a single stone was moved, its exact position, depth, and condition were entered into the digital archive to ensure every piece of evidence could be scientifically verified later. Then, at last, the moment people around the world had been waiting for finally arrived. Rick Lagina slowly stepped toward the mysterious stone structure, knowing that whatever happened next could change the story of Oak Island forever. The excavation site fell into complete silence. No one spoke. Every member of the team stood motionless, their attention fixed entirely on the mysterious stone hatch. There was a shared feeling that the next few moments could change everything they thought they knew about Oak Island. After more than 220 years of searching, the moment had finally arrived. At Rick Lagina's signal, the crew carefully began lifting the ancient-looking structure. Heavy machinery had already been moved away to avoid unnecessary vibrations, while every camera and monitoring system focused on a single point. Then something completely unexpected happened. The instant the hatch shifted slightly, the monitoring equipment detected several new anomalies beneath it. Ground imaging systems revealed multiple underground voids directly below the structure. According to the experts, these readings suggested that solid bedrock might not be the only thing hidden underneath. There could also be open spaces below the surface. At nearly the same time, several members of the team noticed a faint stream of cool air escaping from the narrow gap around the hatch. Although no conclusions could be drawn yet, the discovery strengthened the possibility that a long, sealed underground chamber might exist beneath them. The atmosphere changed immediately. To avoid disturbing the site, a remote inspection camera was slowly lowered into the newly opened gap. As the first images appeared on the monitors, the team watched in complete silence. A narrow stone-lined passage seemed to come into view. The arrangement of the stones appeared unusually straight, surprising several archaeologists. Some experts suggested the formation might belong to an ancient human-built structure, rather than a natural geological feature. Others urged caution, insisting that every possible explanation should be examined before reaching any conclusions. For several long moments, Rick Lagina and the rest of the team simply stared at the screens. No one had expected so many unusual signs to appear beneath the hatch. At that point, the mission changed completely. Instead of continuing the excavation, the team decided to pause all digging operations. Every newly detected signal would first undergo careful scientific investigation before any further action was taken. Now, one question overshadowed everything else. What was actually hidden beneath the hatch? Rather than rushing deeper into the excavation, Rick authorized the use of additional remote cameras and advanced underground imaging technology. As fresh images were collected, experts quickly found themselves divided over what they were seeing. Some believed the evidence pointed toward a concealed tunnel stretching beneath the island. Others thought it might reveal a completely sealed underground chamber. If either possibility proved correct, it could open an entirely new chapter in the story of Oak Island. Among the first images were objects resembling aged wooden support beams. Their appearance was noticeably different from the surrounding rock, leading archaeologists to believe they might be the remains of an old human-built structure. If confirmed, carbon dating would become essential for determining their true age. Not far beyond the wooden features, the camera also captured what appeared to be a remarkably straight stone surface. Its shape immediately attracted attention, because formations with such clean lines are generally considered uncommon in nature. At the same time, sensitive metal detection instruments recorded several strong metallic readings from below the surface. Whether those signals came from old iron fittings, forgotten tools, or another type of metal remained impossible to determine at that stage. For that reason, the team refused to make any public claims before the evidence had been fully analyzed. Even so, one fact was becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. The growing collection of unusual readings suggested that something beneath Oak Island deserved much closer investigation. As news of the discovery spread, people around the world began following the mission closely. Was this finally the entrance to a hidden treasure vault, or had the team uncovered a forgotten historical structure buried for centuries? For now, nobody knew the answer. With worldwide attention focused on the island, the next step belonged to science. Rick Lagina and his team understood that remarkable discoveries are not confirmed by appearance alone. Every piece of evidence had to withstand careful scientific examination before any conclusions could be reached. The recovered wood, stone fragments, and metallic traces were carefully packaged as separate samples. Each was labeled with its exact location, excavation depth, and recovery time to ensure complete accuracy during later analysis. From that moment onward, the mission became less about digging and more about verification. The first priority was carbon dating. Scientists hoped to determine the age of the wooden remains and establish whether they matched the earliest known periods associated with the Oak Island mystery. The metallic samples were also prepared for detailed composition testing. Researchers wanted to identify whether the material was naturally occurring or part of an ancient manufactured object. An unusual alloy or unexpected composition could significantly increase the importance of the discovery.